Okay, so I wanted to do a quick little video on how to do graphs in Webassign. So sometimes some of these are tricky. I don't think Webassign is the most user friendly for doing these. Um, so instead of wasting submissions because it's not exactly right for little tedious things in Webassign, hopefully this will save you a little bit on that. So we have a linear function here. F of x is x minus 2, and then the domain is -2 to 8. Now, that part is important because that tells us that we're dealing with a line segment instead of a continuous line where it was for the whole domain of all real numbers. So linear function, we're going to click the straight line here. And when you do that, you'll see we have the line for the entire domain. Here we have array, which would start at say -2, but then go all the way to infinity for its domain. And then this is the one that we need in this case, where the domain is on a closed or open interval. It could be either one. So we'll click that one. And now with this one, we need to plot the two endpoints. So we need to plug in -2 for x, and then we need to plug in 8 for x and get 2 points. And that will help us graph the line segment. So plug in -2, we get f of -2 is -4. So -2, -4, just click there. And then plug in 8, f of 8, 8 minus 2 is 6. So we have 8, 6. Click there, and then it connects our line segment. And that's all you got to do for this one. The one thing that you might have to adjust on these where we're on a limited domain instead of all real numbers is if you have to check if these endpoints are included in the domain. So in this case, they are. So we want these 2 points to be closed circles, which tell us that that point is part of the domain. But if, for instance, we had -2 less than x, less than or equal to 8, so we're not going to include the -2, then that point, then we need to do this little drop down and we can click the open circle there. And then you see that this now has changed to an open circle instead of a closed. And maybe both of them are like that. Maybe they're both closed or a combination, either way. But that's something you need to check when you're doing these. And then if the domain was all real numbers, and so just f of x equals x minus 2, in that case, you can click there and then just click there again. So now we have the continuous line for the whole domain of all real numbers. And now you can actually click any 2 points that would be on this line. So you could plug in 0 for x and you get the y-intercept of -2. And then you could plug in, we'll just say 2, and then you get y is 0. So 2, 0 there. And now you get you get the same line that we had before, except now it's extended for the whole domain. So that's how you do these. Just make sure that you click the right one, and then if it's a line segment, you have to pick the endpoints. If it's a line for the whole domain, you can pick any 2 points that would be on the line, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so if you got any other questions about this, you can let me know.